how CV cycle is making a comeback, and we'll take that story forward with Harish Seth, Chairman and Managing Director of Setco Automotive. Harish, good morning and thank you for joining us. Everyone is talking about revival in CV cycle. Has that translated into better margins, better outlook, better pricing power for an CV ancillary company?
Of course, without a doubt. When your top line grows, the bottom line has to grow. And commercial vehicle industry is in a very good time now after a long time. Partly because, rather mainly because of the Indian economy is moving. There is a huge investment by the government in infra, in the agriculture sector, in the rural sector, in the mines sector. All of that are resulting in the growth of the commercial vehicle. The first quarter commercial vehicle production is almost up by 80 to 90% compared to the last year, first quarter. Naturally, our growth will be in line with that. And mind you, we are not only OE driven company. Though we meet 85% to 90% of the OE demand in India today, for OE only accounts for 40% of the overall business. Our other business is our aftermarket business. I don't know if you know it, but in a truck, if it is 15 years as a life cycle, they will need about 5 clutches through the life cycle. So there is a huge demand for the aftermarket business. We have recently gone into the farm tractor business. Last year we made a foray into that area. So that's also going to get us into a next level because the farm tractor is a very growing market. Exports is another area that we have been working in. We have now been approved our quality and product by one of the European commercial vehicle manufacturers. And also we have developed new products for the American market, which is well received, and we are expecting a good growth. So overall, this year, we are looking at nothing less than about 30-35% growth compared to the last year, maybe a little more. And same growth will be maintained in the coming year. As far as the commercial vehicle industry is concerned, the growth cycle in commercial vehicle industry is expected to continue for a few years. In 2020, they are coming out with BS6 norms. That commercial vehicles will be a little more expensive due to that. So there will be a huge spurt in demand towards the later part of the next year. After 2020, government is introducing in a big way scrapping of the old 15 years old commercial vehicle. That will also result in a good demand in the coming years. Normally, our aftermarket demand starts after 3 years. So the demand for the aftermarket as a commercial vehicle industry has improved in last 2 years. The demand in the aftermarket is improving. Introduction of GST has affected the unorganized sector very badly. So part of that business is also coming to us. So we are looking at a very exciting time, not just 1 year or 2 years, for the next 5 years.
And having said that, that's very encouraging outlook that you've given. I just wanted to, get a sense from you on how much do you think competition can make things tough in the business, and what are the clear trends that are emerging in terms of, demand coming back in a conclusive manner for you to be able to meet some of the targets you've laid out over the next 5 years?
See, these are not, this is what's going to happen. If we don't do it, then something is wrong with us. Because that's how the commercial vehicle industry will move. That's how the more vehicles will be on the road. And we are gearing up for that. As far as the competition is concerned, competition will always be there. But still we have for last 15 years about 85% of India's market. So we don't see next coming few years too much affecting that part of the business. And as I said, at the end of the day, OE accounts for about 40% of the business. With the growth in top line, as you had asked me about the profitability a little earlier, we've been working on a EBITDA margin last year's, if you see our results for the second, third and fourth quarter, after a big loss of the first quarter, our EBITDA margin has been around 15%. And we expect to continue in the coming year and probably improve from 15 to 16%. Our contribution is also around 27-28% if you see our balance sheets at any given time. That will also give us a good margin as the growth goes up. So we are seeing a fairly good exciting time for Setco Auto. We are seeing a good exciting time for commercial vehicle industry. Our foray into the farm tractor will be very, very, very important for us, because we consider that as a next growth cycle. And again, the life of the clutch in farm tractor is limited, just like the commercial vehicle industry, because it moves in muddy films and all that, so the life is less.
Mr. Seth, help us understand how your exports business as well is going on, because there are quite a few factors that would be impacting the business, I guess. The volatile currency moves, what's going on with some heightened trade war concerns as well between US and China, and then the kind of commodity price inflation as well that we've seen in the quarter gone by.
See, as far as the commodity prices are concerned, your concern is very right. But normally the arrangements with the OE is that we pass on the commodity cost to the OE. There may be a lagging period of few months between the time they accept and the time it actually takes place, but it's always there. And similar thing will happen also if there is a drop in commodity prices. As far as the export market, volatile in currency, you are absolutely right. That does affect. But overall export business still accounts for about 5 to 8% of our overall business. So some volatility will not affect the company's performance in a very big way. New introduction of the products. See, we are a technology driven company. So it's very, very important that we continuously evolve, come up with a newer product, better products. We have R&D center in UK, we have R&D center in India. So that helps us keeping abreast with the foreign customers also, having a technology center in UK. So that helps.
How real is, the threat of e-vehicles just as yet? I mean, Tesla is saying we're going to disrupt the world, the automobile industry globally. They've done a lot of work in that direction. And in India also, a lot of companies are indicating that they are bracing themselves for the transition from fuel dependent vehicles to e-vehicles, electric vehicles. How do you see the potential and the opportunity there?
Electrical vehicles can be a threat going into the future, because naturally they will not have a transmission. If the transmission is not there, there is no clutch. But at the moment, there is no technology available worldwide that can really take the trucks which are weighing 15 tonners and above into that particular form. And we don't expect any movement, any movement taking place in the next 7-8 years, by which time some technology will develop, but we will be also developing our own to meet the demands of then. But in near future, that is next 5-7 years, we don't expect anything much. Even in the electrical car sector, where we are all the time talking about it, government's target is that by 2030, 30% of the vehicles produced in India will be electrical vehicles. But mind you, by 2030, the vehicle production is expected to go by 4 times. So conventional cars will continue. 30% is the overall target. And in truck, there is no target. There is no targets given. Also, let me add one more area, which in car that's getting affected, is a manual automatic transmission. Automatic transmission in car is doing away with the clutch. In the truck industry, because of the heavy load it carries, the automatic transmission is not recommended. Besides, it's expensive. Also, the diesel consumption goes up, which a transporter can't afford it. Automatic manual transmission gives the ease on the feet of a driver, but the clutch is required. So we don't see any threat in the next 5-7 years from either the electrical vehicle industry or automatic manual transmission, because we are not in the car sector. So in tractor or in commercial vehicle, this is not expected. And when I say commercial vehicle, I'm not talking about LCV. I'm more talking about HCV and MCV, the space we are in. That's mostly 13, 14 tons and above, going up to 50 tons.
Okay, Mr. Sheth, thanks so much for taking the time out and speaking with us today. Good to get in clarity on how business is really going on and what are the other factors that are impacting both the domestic as well as the export segment.